It's so good to have you here, Ron.
Great to be back.
I think you know this place a little bit. You've been in leadership. You've been around this place since the very, very beginning.
Yeah. Well, not just this place, the previous place at 100 Huntley Street in downtown Toronto.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the place where Dad raised us, the home.
Yeah, that's
and
wonderful.
so it's kind of, we're still settling into this new reality, without Dad.
Yeah.
And it's so much a part of my life. We heard Vishon's story earlier where he didn't know his dad.
Right.
But what a blessing that I've had through the years, not being raised in his home, but then working with him for 30 years in the ministry. It's very different to not be in daily connection, contact, and touch with Dad.
Well, that's what you always did. When you're in ministry together, you're not only just seeing each other as workmates, but you're talking, you're discussing things. That's just the way your dad was. Your dad was fearless.
Yeah.
I love that man. Him and my dad were good friends, and I lost my dad about a year and a half ago, and your dad was there, and so were you. And I know what it feels like. And when the dust kind of settles a few months afterwards, you lost your dad in September. Yeah. How does the family feeling now? What's going on?
Well, he leaves a huge hole, obviously. But he's so much still a part of who we are. What a great mentor for me. Yeah. Mom seems to be doing well. A lot of family and friends loving on her. But yeah, she certainly misses Dad a lot.
For sure.
And so it's a time of adjustment. But just to know that God's with us and that we sense His presence and that Dad's what he started is continuing on strongly is a great thing to see as well.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I mentioned your dad was fearless. I love that a man at his age decided to start writing a blog. I don't even think he knew what a blog was when he started to write it.
He didn't.
And I love that.
It was the year he was diagnosed with this form of leukemia. Doctors gave him 2 years to live. And so Dad says, you know what? He woke up at 4 a.m. one morning and he felt God telling him to start a blog. And that's, as he said, he didn't really know what it was.
What is this thing they call a blog?
So he checked into it. And so he said, well, let's do this 2-year through the Bible reading, and I'll do a commentary. We'll have a prayer for the day. And he said, well, and let's call it 100 words. He had good intentions to keep it short. But that's not Dad.
Not Dad.
His commentary would go along, and then his prayer, and then he said, well, then I want to do 100 personal words. Of course, the number 100 has always been a big deal for Dad.
Yeah, for sure.
And so he would write also some personal words, giving stories, and then he got my brother Reynold, who's a photographer. He said, Ren, you've got all kinds of photos from the Bible lands in Israel and the Holy Land. Let's add a photo in. And so Reynold, they took an extra trip to put extra photos in. And then he had Ann and me kind of do the editing on it and getting it ready and preparing, adding links and everything to go on the website. So he did that, and it was a 2-year journey through the Bible, 7 days a week, and people started subscribing to the daily email. And then it went for a second 2 years, and then we're into the third 2-year cycle, and we decided to keep it going.
You're carrying on that legacy now. You're going to continue this at 100words.ca. Is that's the right?
Yeah.
Right
yeah. And then Dad, he said, well, why don't we do a video version as well? This was like a year and a half ago or so. And so he started to, as he had strength, he'd come into the studio and he'd record 2-minute video versions of the daily commentary.
Of course.
And the readings. And then he started getting a little too weak to do it. And he said, Ron, can you come and help me out with this? And we started doing some of these together. In fact, I think we have a clip of when we did it together just before he got too weak to do it by himself anymore. Watch this. David Mainse and Ron Mainse here with you as we're continuing this 2-year journey through the Bible. We're in 1 Kings chapter 8 today. You've got the key verse.
Yes, Ron, it's great to be a father and son team here.
Yeah.
I love seeing you and him together. I love seeing that. That's wonderful.
But we're continuing that on, the video versions, because Dad, before he passed away, he asked me to do it, and then Lorna said, yes, Ron, we want you to continue to doing the video versions. And so I just started off each day the videos saying, Ron Mainse here for my father, David Mainse, whose words continue to live on at 100words.ca.
That's wonderful.
And so you can still connect there, 100words.ca. You can sign up for the free email every day. There's the website there. And you could just fill in your name and email, and you'll get a daily email with Dad's words.
The legacy continues.
Yeah.
And you're involved in Heart to Heart Ministries, a marriage ministry. We're going to be together at Huntley on the Road in March in Oshawa.
Yep.
You want to make sure you check that out. Ron, you're still around. You're still continuing the legacy. Thank you for being here. We love having you around. You just bring joy to us.
Our pleasure. By the way, next Tuesday on 100 Huntley Street, Anne's going to join me, and we're announcing something very exciting, very special, in partnership with Crossroads, a new TV program focused on strengthening marriages. Look forward to next Tuesday here on 100 Huntley Street. We're going to announce it, even show some footage of what's going on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's head back to the pledge lines.